And step right up, folks. See the wonderful, the magical, the magnificent, the splendiferous show that is Ticket Price on Patreon. That's right, folks, for only a meager $3 a month. $3 a month. Not like those other shows you're going to listen to on your podcasts and all those music channels and celebrities you follow that charge $5, $10 more. No. Come see Ticket Price. The only show that answers the hard-hitting questions, is the movie worth your money? As well as other great moments like Moments in Terror and many special guest interviews. More on the way. The only show worth your time and money, not like those other shows that are dull, drab, boring. Bunch of men sitting around speaking in a monotone fashion, enjoying the smell of their own farts. No, sir. No, madam. Bring your friends, bring your family to the one show that covers it all. If you love movies, then join us on Patreon for $3 a month. That's Ticket Price on Patreon. The only show that is 100% worth your time and money. Asking me if I'm ready, like I'm never not ready. I'm always ready, motherfucker. Ready for some goddamn ice cream. How hard is it to get ice cream in the studio once in a while?
I don't have ice cream ever.
You never have ice cream, you sack of tits.
I am not a sack of tits. That's because I don't eat ice cream all the time.
Oh yeah, welcome to Ticket Price, everyone. I'm Jake. I would like some ice cream. Feel like I'm not asking that much. I also need a bottle of water, and we've started recording, and I can't get one, and I hate everyone. Speaking of people I hate, sitting across the way, co-host extraordinaire, and the only man who peaked emotionally and spiritually when the band Good Charlotte released their song, The Anthem. Tevis at Master Control. Tevis, how are you, sir?
I'm not sure how I'm doing because I don't know who Good Charlotte is.
Oh, actually, Good Charlotte's kind of an old reference at this point. I thought I dated myself, and now you're just like, oh, I'm too old to know that shit.
Did they come out around the time Creedence Clearwater Revival was around?
Hey, CCR had more than one hit.
That's true, yeah. But were they around with the Bee Gees, maybe?
No, I don't think they coexisted with the Bee Gees.
Oh, okay. I'll have to use the Google.
Yeah, but I've seen you use the Google. You're so bad at it.
I'm old. What are we doing?
I don't know. Bitching about ice cream and Good Charlotte, mostly. All right, everyone. Welcome back to Ticket Price. And today, we are looking forward to I know Tevis has been looking forward to it all week. Since we pulled it out of the hat, you've been looking forward to it all week. We are looking at iRobot.
I'm ecstatic.
This guy's ecstatic. I'd be ecstatic for a little goddamn ice cream.
I'm ecstatic. I'm happy.
What's the flavor? You sent me a picture. You bought ice creams fairly recently, and they were the most god-awful flavors. I thought it was a joke. I was like, what is this horribleness?
One was mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese flavored ice cream.
Swear to God.
There's a place in hell for you and anyone else that eats that.
And kettle corn.
I don't even like kettle corn. You give me kettle corn flavored ice. If you're just like, here, Jake, I got you some ice cream, and it tastes like kettle corn or mac and cheese, I'm going to fight you with my hands.
No,
you had better be prepared to catch these fists.
Me and the kid were in Walmart.
You damn ass.
The other day, and she's like, can we get some ice cream? I'm like, yeah, sure. Let's go take a look. And we went to one of the end caps, and then we looked, and there was all these little pints. It's like, oh, there's all kinds of pints here. What do they got? I'm like, wait a minute. Does that say mac and cheese? She's like, yeah, it does. Let's get it.
And that is when you, as the father, are supposed to step in and save your child from making terrible decisions.
You never learn.
You see them running out into the middle of the street. You see the car coming around the blind turn. You scoop them up out of the road.
If she gets hit by the car, she'll learn to look both ways.
No.
Yes.
Not every lesson works for that, experience.
It doesn't in the world of ice cream.
No, it's not in that ice cream. It's goddamn mac and cheese.
Actually, it wasn't too bad.
Yes, it was. I didn't even have it. I got my biscuits and gravy ice cream. Nom, 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 nom. What is the matter with you? That was probably flavor the next row down.
We should have put that on mashed potatoes.
Fight you.
Mashed potatoes with mac and cheese ice cream. Shit, yeah.
So fat. All right. Well, getting back to iRobot, something that tastes good.
Tastes like kettle corn.
Based on the book by Isaac Asimov.
Based?
Yes.
Mm,
What do you mean? It's based.
in the credits, it says suggested.
What?
Yeah.
What?
At the end, it says suggested by the book iRobot by Isaac Asimov.
Oh, okay. So,
Because I think they didn't follow anything in any of his books except for the 3 laws.
suggested?
Suggested.
Question?
Yeah.
By the books of Isaac Asimov. Released in 2004, we have gone back 20 years. 20 years on this one. How's that make you feel?
We've gone back 20 years to go into the future. Yes.
Also, I want to point out, well, we're not there yet. I'm not pointing out shit. Stop jumping ahead in my content. You guys changed how I do my introduction, and I hate everyone for it, by the way, still to this day. I'm not over it. But you're not going to jump ahead. This movie came out in 2004, goddammit. It was written by Jeff Ventar, Akiva Goldsman, and Isaac Asimov.
It was suggested by Isaac Asimov.
It wasn't written by, it was suggested by.
Yeah.
I've never heard that phrasing before.
I never had either.
So weird. All right. Starring Will Smith and Bridget Monahan.
Bridget Monahan, yes.
Some other people were in there. I don't know.
James Cromwell.
That's true. I do like James Cromwell.
I do too.
All right. Budget. This movie was made with an estimated $120 million.
Jesus.
With a worldwide gross of $353 million.
Okay.
You're giving me crazy eyes. Awards.
None. Oh, no, I take that back. It was nominated for
1 win, 15 nominations. One of those nominations being nominated for the Oscar for Best Achievement in Visual Effects.
Yes.
It did not win, though.
No.
I remember when this movie came out. I remember it being kind of a big deal, but honestly, I remember it being one of those just like flash in the pan. Did you see this movie? It was super good. Everyone check this movie. And then we all just kind of collectively forgot about it. Kind of like the Fast and the Furious, honestly. What is your history with this movie?
I remember seeing the trailer for it, and I remember not being excited at all for it. And it came out, I believe, in the summer. I never went and seen it.
Mm-hmm.
Never cared to rent it. Nothing. And then I got it for Christmas that year. I was like, oh, cool. iRobot. Yay. And then I put it in and watched it. And I was like, okay, that wasn't as bad as I anticipated it being. And that was kind of it.
Yeah.
Just kind of there. And then I quickly forgot about it.
I know I've seen this movie once, twice before. Couldn't tell you when, couldn't tell you where or why. Like, it's one of those movies where I know I've seen it. And then as I was watching it, I was like, oh yeah, like I knew all the stuff that was happening. I remembered all the big moments. I remembered the twists and turns. Like, my memory on this movie was surprisingly solid. Could not tell you when I watched this movie. And before, usually when I have this answer, it's movies like Jaws or Jurassic Park or Braveheart, Tombstone, Lethal Weapon, a movie I've seen a gazillion times and it's just burned into my mind since childhood. This is not that movie. And despite seeing it once or twice before, for sure, it's just kind of, at the time, it was just kind of that forgettable. It was like, I watched it. Bleh.
Yeah,
Huh?
that's the way I felt after I watched it.
Are you ready to dive into it?
Head first.
In the far off year of 2035, I want to pause here. At the time of this recording is the year of our Lord 2024. In 11 years. All right, science.
Yeah.
You bastards. I'm supposed to be on a moon colony with a flying car, and I'm not. You have 11 years to make household robots a thing. Get your asses to work.
I love when the movies have the year that's super close to where we are, and it's just outlandish shit.
Total Recall. What year did Total Recall the story take place?
I do
it's
not
2000
recall.
something, is it not? Like, it's not.
I don't remember what that one is. It might be 2000, but I watched a trailer for a movie the other night. No Escape with Ray Liotta. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. He gets sent to this prison planet or prison island, basically. But it's supposed
Alien
to be
4?
No, that was a prison planet. But I'm glad you remembered it's Alien 4.
You said Alien. You said Prison Planet.
I know. I was thinking of Alien 4, and actually it's Alien 3. But whatever.
Which one has Ron Perlman?
Alien 4.
And that's the Prison Planet.
No,
but he has the chili mug that turns into a shotgun.
that's stupid.
I didn't say it wasn't. I said he has it.
But no, that was Alien 3 was on the prison planet. Anyway, No Escape is supposed to be set in the future, and it comes up and it has this train that shoots by the screen, and it's super high tech and blah, blah, blah. And it says in the far off year, 2022. I was like, oh, okay.
You went, I remember 2022.
I remember that.
We were still recovering from the pandemic.
And no flying trains.
There were 0 hover trains.
The 3 laws.
Yes, the movie opens. We get it kind of looks like a woman drowning. People are drowning in cars. It's very cryptic. Like, ooh, what am I looking at? We're looking at people drowning. And then we get, the 3 laws of robotics. Robots can't hurt people, nor can they allow someone to get hurt due to their inactivity. Number 2, they must obey any command given to them by a human unless it would violate rule number 1. And then law number 3, they must ensure their own safety.
Protect themselves, yes.
Unless protecting themselves or defending themselves would violate either of the first 2 laws.
Correct.
And that's actually really cool, and it's really deep if we want to sit and think about it. But that's because it came from Isaac Asimov.
And that's about all.
That is, well, it was the suggestion they took.
Yes.
We meet Will Smith's character Dell in his apartment.
Dell Spooner.
Why are you saying it like that?
Because I'm excited. So we're watching iRobot.
Excited about the Spoon Man.
Yes.
Spoon Man.
I do like that song. It's a good song.
So wait, you know Spoon Man?
Yes.
But you don't know Good Charlotte's the anthem.
No. Because Soundgarden is way better.
That's true. That is true. I can't argue that. And somewhere out there, Good Charlotte fans going, "You old fuckers don't even know." I'm like, that's true. But if you're a diehard Good Charlotte fan, you're also kind of an old fucker. But moving on, I want to point out. So he gets up. We see him kind of exercising. He's really favoring his one arm. He's got some scars, so you can tell he's like recuperating. And then he takes a shower. And I want to point this out. It's important to point out. We get a full naked profile of Will Smith. You don't see anything, just full naked profile. But he is taking a shower in a tub shower, right? He got into a bathtub that has the shower head attached, right? And turned it on. And he does not have any kind of shower curtain or shower liner There's a metal bar, there's a rack where one would go if you weren't a complete psychopath and just showering with your dick out in a tub shower. What is the matter with you? Not only are you just balls out for the world for, taking a shower like a complete weirdo, the water from that shower is getting everywhere around the tub, all right? That water is not contained for shit. He has a mold problem.
Yes.
If he continues to shower this way, he's going to get into his tub one day and it's just going to fall through the goddamn floor into the apartment below him because the mold will have eaten away all the wood and all the structural integrity that held the tub up.
Yes, but he, like he does in this movie, he will solve his mold problem just by shooting at all of the mold, because that's all he does in this movie is bam, 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 bam.
Hey, there's also, that's not all he does. He also enacts verbally and through his actions as well as get accused of racism, but it's not done in any way that's particularly good. And it's not thought provoking or like rubbing against the grain. You just go, what?
Because of his robot phobia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
His robot racism.
Yes.
Yeah. It's not really a phobia. He's not afraid of the robots. He just hates them because they're different. They look different, so he hates them.
Yeah. So he's a robophobe.
No. Again, phobe implies fear. He's not afraid of them. He hates them.
Robophobe.
It's not robophobe.
He loves the classic stuff, though, because he listens to Stevie Wonder, rather. Sorry, I had Stevie Wonder and Sugar Ray Leonard stuck in my head from the last episode for some damn reason. Sugar Ray Leonard.
Right, lol, Will Smith.
But he has his Converse, the classics.
All the way back from 04.
Yes. Oh, yeah. They were 04 because they had to mention the year this movie was.
So the movie was made in 04. Product placement, Converse. And they found a way in the script to both showcase the brand new black and white Converse that were coming out, but then also portray them as retro and collectible at the same time. And that is a special amount of bullshit they had to weave into, you know what I mean? They took a lot of care. And I almost wonder how different this movie would be if they took that much care for the rest of the script.
It might be a lot different. Like, good.
We're not there yet.
Peek behind the curtain.
There is no curtain. His dick is out. There's water everywhere. There's no curtain.
Okay, so there's no curtain anymore. That's right.
There was no curtain. He gets dressed, and by gets dressed, I mean he went into his closet and went, there it is. I'm going to look like Denzel Washington from Training Day. And then dresses exactly like Denzel Washington with the do-rag and everything.
Holy shit.
He looks exactly like Denzel Washington from Training Day. I'm like, man, you're trying way too hard.
Yeah, he does, doesn't he?
Yeah, think about it.
He's going for the retro look.
Training Day.
Yeah.
He got his brand new VHS Training Day out, and he was like, oh, I love the classics.
Yeah, and the way he wears his hat, that bothers me.
Slightly askew.
And over his ear a little bit on that one side.
Because it's slightly askew.
Yeah, but I'm just like, why? Why every time you have that hat on, he has to do that?
Fashionable.
No, it's not.
White.
No, it's not.
God.
Need to wear khaki shorts with white socks and white New Balance shoes. That's the class.
Wait, what about up top?
It doesn't. Some polo. That's all you got to worry about. Doesn't matter. A white polo. That's fine.
So wait, now you have Will Smith dressed in head to toe white, except his shorts, which are khaki.
Yes.
Any headgear whatsoever.
No.
But right now, he looks like Denzel from Training Day.
Yes, he does.
He looks exactly That outfit, they're like, oh, we need some clothes. Oh, here, grab something from the trailer. They just, there's like the big prop closet, right? They went to the costuming department. And they were like, here, we're not using this. And they handed them just a hanger of an outfit on a hanger. And they were like, perfect. From training day.
Yeah. You're not wrong. I didn't even think of that until you just said it.
Oh, as soon as I saw him walk down the street, I went, what the hell?
That's hilarious.
I just immediately went to that. He visits his grandmother, Gigi.
He eats pie like an asshole.
You mean directly out of the tin?
With a spoon, you just...
Despite it, at that moment in time, being a public pie. Like multiple people are eating. And even Gigi's like, put this shit on a plate. What's the matter with you? He showers without a curtain. He eats pies out of the tin with a spoon, despite other people also eating the pie at the same time.
Yeah, and well, even when he woke up and he goes into his kitchen or whatever, he grabs a spoonful of the pie that's left over on the counter.
Yeah, but that's his personal leftover pie. I don't care.
But how long has it been on the counter?
Given the rate he eats pie, 35 minutes.
That's fair. Because, he does end up running down the street with his whole pie.
Yeah.
Just eating it like a bowl of cereal.
Just down the street.
Yeah. Who the fuck is this guy?
It's just dressing like he's in training day, showering without curtains. He's just walking down a public sidewalk in front of people, shoveling the middle of a pie into his face with a spoon.
Jesus.
Surprise Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, I had totally forgot he was in this.
The boofer. He looks so young.
Yeah, he shows up for 20 seconds and tries to sound cool by
we learn he
cusses.
We learn he's real bad at cussing.
Yeah.
And that he needs to go home. And those are pretty much the only two things we learn about his character. He needs to stop cussing and he needs to go home.
Yeah. Yeah, so.
Surprise Shia
LaBeouf.
The LaBeoufer.
Yeah.
LaBeouf?
I like LaBeouf.
LaBeef.
Because that way when he goes off screen, he disappears. He's like, LaBeouf.
He's not Nightcrawler.
That's it right there.
LaBeouf.
New casting for the X-Men movie coming into the MCU.
LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf. And that's the guy to put the boof. Yep, that's it right there.
Man, we are so good at this. Straight genius. All right. He sees a robot run down the street with a purse. And his first thought is, my God, oh my God. That robot is a purse snatcher. Purse snatcher. He snatches purses. Oh my God. And he then begins to chase. He begins to try to outrun a robot, which shouldn't have worked.
Well, in the robot's defense, I just think he was at not the robot's defense, but in Spooner's defense, I don't think the robot was going as fast as it could because, it was trying to be mindful of people around him and get to his destination. Spooner didn't give a shit. He was just running.
He was going full bore. He even
jumping off.
He handed some guy his pie because he couldn't hold it. He had work to do.
Yeah. He's like, you hold it or wear it.
Hold it or wear it. That's what I say to my wife. Hold it or wear it.
Anyway.
LaBeouf. Hold it or wear it, LaBeouf.
Where are we at? You totally lost me with the whole wife thing.
So he tackles the robot with the purse. And as he tackles the robot, the purse flies out of the robot's hands to a woman sitting on a park or like a bus bench, like a bus stop bench.
Yes.
She grabs the purse and pulls her inhaler out and starts, using her inhaler. And she's like, what the hell is the matter with you? I'm sorry, ma'am. Is that your purse? Who the hell's purse do you think it is? And he's like, I'm sorry. I thought this robot. What kind of dumbass thinks robots are stealing purses? Boy, if I could breathe, I'd walk all up and down your ass. And that was the funniest line to me of him going, then this lady going, sucking her inhaler, go, boy, if I could breathe, I'd come over there and walk up and down your ass. Because he tackled her robot.
Yeah. And I feel like him doing that in this time period with robots everywhere going about
Everywhere,
their
they're
business.
so commonplace.
Yeah, it would be like the police kicking in your door and
Shooting your TV.
shooting your little robot vacuum.
Roomba! Bear, bear, bear!
It's robbing you. I'm like,
It took your keys! Bear, 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 bear!
is this your dust, sir? I took it from your robot vacuuming. I'm like, no, stop. It's just terrible.
LaBouffe.
Yeah.
So now we know that Dell is not a big fan of the robots, despite them being wildly commonplace. And despite them being wildly commonplace for some time now.
Yeah, because what's the new model that comes out? The NS5 is what they're called.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they've been around a while.
There's at least 5 generations of robots that have existed. So I've got to think we should, in today's age of 2024, we should have at least Model 1 or 2.
God, I hope.
Imagine all the things I wouldn't have to do if I had a robot.
Hang on, I'm imagining that.
Hold it or wear it. LaBouffe.
I'd never have to wash dishes again. Yeah. That's all.
And that's as far as he got, ladies
Yeah.
and gentlemen. Something about dishes.
Yeah, no.
Now, let's be honest. The first robots that are going to roll off the line are going to be sex bots.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Whether they want to be or not.
LaBouffe.
Because they're going to be used for all.
Hold it or wear it.
Yeah.
Hold it or wear it. LaBouffe. All right. Moving on. And then Will Smith gets to his precinct. Excuse me. Del Spooner gets to his precinct where people are making fun of him and his
I don't know if it's a captain or lieutenant.
No, he's a lieutenant, but he's in charge of the precinct. But I'm like, are lieutenants in charge of the that's
the future. I don't know.
future? I don't know. But the lieutenant is like, hey, you doing all right, man? Like, maybe you should take some more time off. And he's like, no, I'm fine. I don't mean bullshit. Robots are bad.
I don't remember the name of this guy, the actor wise, but I've seen him in a few other
Oh
things.
yeah, he's got a great voice.
Yeah,
and,
I like him. He was in the one season of House. He was in another TV show. I can't remember the name of it.
Oh, he's made the rounds.
Yeah, but every time I see him, he's absolutely fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I could remember his name.
You could just look it up.
Yeah, but my computer's way over there.
You need a robot to bring you the computer.
There you go. There's another thing. Do the dishes and
bring me my computer. And the holding.
And the holding, yeah.
There's a lot of holding. So basically, we learn that Dell is a homicide detective, and he gets a call saying he needs to report to an incident. He shows up at U.S. Robotics, the USR, where their lead scientist and co-founder appears to have taken a header out of a 10-story window and committed suicide. And he's talking to a hologram projection, like a pre-recorded message, that will ask. It's programmed to be able to answer certain questions. It has a very limited response space
and be vague as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For plot purposes.
Yes.
It's vague enough to keep the plot going, but not so vague we get lost, but not give away so much information that it spoils the movie. It's that perfect creamy center of vagueness.
Sure.
It's a creamy vague.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
What? No. Let's keep going. Nope. Don't like that.
That creamy vagueness.
Mm-mm. Nope.
Would you like to expand my vagueness crease?
Do you want creamy vague or crunchy vague? It's like peanut butter. I think I threw up in my mouth a little bit.
I threw up some of this creamy vague. All right.
The doctor was James Cromwell. What was the doctor's name? I can't remember.
I don't remember. It's honestly not that important.
Yeah, it is. He was the head scientist.
Which also wasn't that important.
No, James Cromwell was very, very wasted.
Agreed. Oh, yeah. Agreed. James Cromwell's so good. And they were like, hey, we got this guy. And I feel like they didn't know who they had.
Absolutely.
And I feel like he went, oh, I only have to be on set for like a day and I'm going to make a nice paycheck.
Yeah.
Easy money.
Absolutely.
So, but I have on here, should Dell be doing this particular investigation? Because as we learn, he does in fact have a personal history and relationship with the now deceased doctor. Should he not then be like, hey, I'm,
Conflict of interest.
Lieutenant, I'm sorry, I cannot do this one.
But that's not how it works
in the future. There are no rules in the future.
No.
Robots.
This is personal for him, damn
creamy
it.
vagueness. Cops can do whatever they want.
Yep.
Actually, that one's true.
That one is true, even now.
Yeah, it's true.
But yeah, he's taken this one very personal.
So he eventually goes inside, meets up with Bridget Monahan, whose character's name is
Doctor. That's all I got.
Some Dr. Woman?
Doctor Lady.
Doctor...
I can't remember.
Person from Men in Black? Is Bridget Monahan the woman in Men in Black?
No.
She looks shockingly similar.
They do kind of look similar, but no.
Shockingly. That's sort of shockingly similar. I was shocked. This is my shocked face. Shocked.
Looks like you're getting blown away by Del Spooner.
Don't know what that...
Shot. He shoots people.
Oh.
Or robots, actually.
Well, you didn't say shoot or shot. You said blown away.
Yeah, blown away. Blam, blam, blam.
Oh.
Blown away.
I thought you meant like hold this or wear it.
No, I could have said you got rigs to buy it, but that didn't roll off the tongue quite as well.
What?
Martin Riggs?
Yeah.
When you get shot by a full clip, you got Martin Riggs.
Yeah. I feel like we've gone a long way for nowhere. We went nowhere.
That's pretty much on par.
So now they're investigating the lab where the good doctor fell. And we learn that somehow this elderly gentleman threw himself through reinforced safety glass. And that seems unlikely. Or at least Dell is the only person who thinks that seems unlikely. And I feel like everyone is way too quick to dismiss this very clear and obvious fact that would genuinely make anyone scratch their head and go, that's a good point. Like, I feel like, again, for the purposes of this investigation and the plot, a lot of people are not dumb, but they just, like, refuse to see the most common sense things.
I can kind of understand why the doctor lady does and why the head of USR does. Because they have a new product coming out. They don't want it to be overshadowed by the suicide/murder. But I'm not quite sure why the lieutenant/captain is just being so dismissive about all of it.
It's weird, right? Because you'd be like, okay, but here's the thing. He was in an enclosed office. These windows do not open. And this old man ran with enough speed and force to bust through reinforced safety glass?
Yeah, and well, even Spooner is kind of dismissive because he asks Vicky, the brains of the building,
the robot,
to show video of inside the office before, 5 seconds or 10 seconds, whatever, before the window breaks. And Vicky's like,
that's corrupted.
This is corrupted. Sorry. And he's like, oh, okay. Well, show me outside of the office.
Yeah, he's really okay with that.
Yeah. Even though he questions and hates
robots
and
so is Dell bad at his job? Do we have another movie where our main character is a detective and they're bad at their job?
I'm glad you mentioned that. When he goes into the office and he looks around, he finds that copy of Hansel and Gretel.
Yes.
And later in the movie, he's like, oh, Hansel and Gretel. Follow the crumbs. Follow the clues. That'll get me to my answer. Like, motherfucker, you're a detective. Isn't that the detective's job? The detective doesn't need to be reminded to follow the fucking clues. That is literally your job.
I'm sorry. I didn't realize this would get you so.
It's just the dumbest fucking part of this movie. He has to find a book to be told to do his goddamn job. Like, what the? It makes no sense. This is stupid. And he comes across like it's some big epiphany.
oh my God! I just lightning bolt to my brain. Follow the clues.
If only there was a career path that I could take that allowed me to do this. I would love that.
I'm clearly so great at it.
So fucking dumb.
It's okay. So my chest hurts. I can't form words, and my eyes are teary. So I. Jake giggles for the bingo card. I circle around my original question. Is Dell bad at his job?
He doesn't even know what his job is.
That's all right. Neither did I until like halfway through the movie.
Yeah, I would definitely say he's bad at his job.
Woo! I wasn't prepared for that. Now, they are searching the lab because he's like, what the doctor probably didn't jump out because the murderer might still be here. Bum, bum, bum. And they begin searching the office where they encounter one of the new NS5 robots. And it jumps out and it's grabbing guns, it's throwing people around, it's ignoring commands. And it takes off running. And Dell begins to very recklessly fire his gun in a public building.
Yeah.
But here's everyone's like, what are you doing? You're insane. You know, you're a madman. We're doing this stuff. Robots are better than people because robots aren't this dangerous. I'm going, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Time out. You keep talking about robots are bound by the 3 laws. That makes them harmless. That makes them useful. That makes everything hunky-dory. Except we, in the span of about 30 seconds, experienced a single robot ignore all of those laws.
Yeah, in front of the doctor too. So she's witnessed.
Oh, she witnessed it. Yeah. She witnessed it.
It's not just everybody thinking Spooner's crazy.
Not only did she witness it, we learned that the whole building is monitored by the AI security system. Whatever, Vicky, you've mentioned it earlier. So now there's also security footage of a robot attacking Dell and ignoring all the laws and doing its own thing and running amok. And yet everyone dismisses Dell like an asshole because he's like, you get this guy hates robots. This guy's blaming robots. What an idiot. Motherfucker, look at the tape.
Yeah, and nobody does.
Because they're like, robots don't hurt people. And Will Smith is like, I got my chest caved in by this.
If I was Spooner and I went to my boss and I'm like, hey, listen, this is what happened in that office. And partially to blame for Spooner, he didn't say, hey, there was video surveillance in every room in this place. We can get the surveillance video for it. And his boss is just dismisses him. Yeah. I'd be super pissed.
Oh, yeah. You just hate robots. That's robot speech. That's robot hate speech. You know, it's whatever. Yes. So, wait a minute. We have a detective who loosely understands what his job is. And he reports to his lieutenant, who will not let him do any of the parts of his job, especially the ones he does understand. How does crime get solved?
I don't know if it does.
I don't know if it does either. Robots.
Bro, yeah, probably.
Something robots. Which I also think is how they pitched this movie. They went and went, okay, I got a movie idea. So we'll get Will Smith and then something robots. And some executive like put his glasses on the desk and was like, "You son of a bitch. That's an amazing idea."
Well, apparently for the original story idea for this, it was supposed to be like almost like a Knives Out murder mystery where Spooner was the detective.
Competent?
Competent. But it was supposed to be around a group of robots that they're trying to figure out who killed this particular person. So it was going to be more of the, the Agatha Christie type of murder mystery type of deal.
Sure.
But then Will Smith got attached to it, and they're like, oh, well, we can change it and we can make it more of an action-y direction, take it more of an action-y direction, but we'll keep the murder mystery part a little bit. I don't know. I feel like they just threw the whole murder mystery part out.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And it was just like, well, we'll just have Will Smith run around and yell
guns.
stuff and shoot guns.
Yell damn and hell.
Yeah.
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 Honestly, okay, I'm trying to think of how that baseline description, like the original premise for the movie, I'm like, would that have worked? My gut says no. You'd have to be really good as both your screenwriters and your director. You would all have to come together with a very crystal clear plan on how that would work to make it work. You know what I'm saying? Like, not just anyone could roll in off the street and make that original plan work, I don't think.
Oh, I agree. Yeah. It seemed to be a little too fresh of an idea, maybe.
Well, it's hard to say it's too fresh of an idea given that Isaac Asimov's books came out in like the 50s and you yourself equated it to Agatha Christie.
Well, no, I mean, for in the movie world, because they've had the murder mysteries and things like that, but nothing like in the sci-fi realm, I think.
Yeah.
So I think
honestly, that means there would have been all the more reason to do it, in my opinion.
I believe so.
But they didn't want to. But it sounds like they didn't want to roll the dice. They wanted what's going to for sure get our money back. Will Smith is still super hot right now. We'll make it a half-ass action movie with robots.
Future, yeah.
Done. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd also noticed the CGI and the special effects showed its age. Some moments worse than others. The only moment that I was like, stopped taking notes, rewound it, watched it a couple of times because it was so egregiously bad.
I think I know exactly where you're going.
Will Smith parks his car and the tunnel or whatever, the parking garage, whatever the fuck he's in, just the wall opens up and a big like claw arm comes out, picks his car up and sucks it into the wall because inside it's like this weird car vending machine store. It looks like a worse version of the monster storage facility from Cabin in the Woods, right? But it's a bunch of just shitty cars and fucking whatever, and then that panel closes and I'm going, what was that?
Yeah.
That was awful.
There was that one. And then in the warehouse where they have all the robots standing in rows, and Spooner is walking in between, all of them trying to be stealthy or whatever he's trying to do. It's very green screeny, and it looks like a cardboard cutout of Will Smith being puppeted across the screen in between those. There's no depth.
No, the car was worse, I think.
Oh, I don't know. Both of those were pretty bad.
Well, you say no depth. It looks when the car thing happens, it looks like they just had a set with a single green screen panel and then just photoshopped a moving image onto it. Like, it looks awful.
Yeah. I got a huge Phantom Menace Star Wars prequel vibes from this.
You know what? It's been a while since I've seen Phantom Menace, and I don't defend the prequels at all. They're terrible. And everyone who's like, no, the prequels are great. They're not, and you're wrong. You're letting nostalgia cloud your judgment. I don't remember anything in Phantom Menace looking as egregious as those two examples.
There was a few moments I remember in Phantom Menace. But I will say the moment...
Ray Park.
Who?
Ray Park.
Oh, absolutely.
That son of a bitch.
He's fabulous.
You're just like, look at this fake looking
He's great.
dipshit.
I loved him.
With his stupid horns. His edgelord face makeup.
I have
a lightsaber that comes out of both ends of my dildo.
I want to compliment the visual effects a little bit.
Yeah.
In one particular scene that I thought was really cool, when Sonny, the robot.
So we learn that the main robot has a name. He is Sonny,
Yes.
and he refers to the dead doctor as father.
Yes. When he first appears and then jumps through the window, the way the 3D model flies through the window and the lighting changes from the dark interior to the bright lights of the outside, man, you could tell me that they built an actual puppet robot and just tossed him out the window, and I'd be like, yeah, I agree. I bet that's right.
Yeah.
But that's not what happened. But just the way the lighting changes so accurately looks really cool. Really cool.
Now, we had our fun picking at the two worst visual moments of the movie. That being said, yes, this movie came out in 2004. It's very CGI heavy. Yes, its CGI has dated. But honestly, even still, it's an impressive looking movie. I'll give it that.
Yeah, there's those two parts that are super bad.
But that's it.
There's a few parts that are kind of like, maybe not. But nothing that was as bad as those first two.
No, nothing.
But
those two are really the only ones. And the one you're talking about, I remember noticing, but not as bad as you did. The only one that really was so jarring and took me out of it was the car thing.
The part in the house when the house gets destroyed.
Yeah.
That looked really cool.
Yeah, but I think that was a combination. There were practical elements.
Yeah, with the CGI of the robot.
Yeah.
Only thing that really threw me out of that one was Will Smith is obviously carrying a stuffed cat.
Well, you can't carry a real cat. It would scratch the shit out of you. You ever been scratched by a cat? It burns. Why does it burn? It burns so bad.
I don't know. I don't like cats. Cats are gross.
They don't like you. Cats aren't gross.
Cats are gross.
They're not gross.
Yes, they are.
Why are cats gross?
Because they shovel around their own poop and pee and then lick themselves, and no, they're gross.
Clean the litter box.
Then they
That's
get up
fault.
on everything and
yeah, because they're a cat.
Yeah, don't like them.
You don't like dogs either. You're some kind of monster.
I like dogs.
So the part we're talking about, though, is continuing his investigation. Spooner goes to the dead doctor's house. There's a demolition bot outside.
Why?
He's investigating.
No, why is there a demolition bot outside of this house?
Because that asshole is dead, and obviously we can't just sell this lovely mansion, and someone's not going to make a bunch of money off of it.
All of his stuff.
They're just going to destroy it with all of his things in it. Yes. Now that you bring that up, though, why were they going to destroy his house? Why was his house scheduled for demolition? The goddamn robots. But again, it was scheduled by robots. I believe it was set up by Vicky.
Yes.
And no one questioned it.
But but let me ask you this.
Yes.
Is she trying to hide any evidence of any kind of foul play by destroying the house?
Possibly.
Why is she scheduling it for 24 hours? Or 12 hours, I guess it was, because it was 8 p.m., not 8. But she had it scheduled for 8 a.m. the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Just destroy it. Just do it right then.
I don't have it. Because he had to find the picture of the dead doctor with Bridget Monahan, so he knew they had a personal connection. And save the cat.
Oh, okay. That's all you had to say right there. Save the cat.
Save the cat.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he does try to go to the doctor's house. And then, now there's some weird contrived demolition moment. I was going to talk about, but now as I think about it, I'm like, that was dumb, wasn't it? I feel like that was dumb and didn't make a lot of sense. It was just there for another action scene that someone thought of while taking a curtainless shower.
Yeah, and I never realized before until this watch the moment of he's running down the hallway, Spooner is. The demolition bot is destroying it, coming towards him, and because he has to, he shoots the door, the hinges off of the door, and then jumps into the doorway just as the robot's destroying everything behind him, and he door surfs.
He does door surf. That does happen.
Door surfs into the little
like a pool or a pond,
whatever, koi pond. That was the dumbest shit. I had to rewind that 3 times because I was like, wait a minute. Did this motherfucker just surf the door like Batman and Robin in the movie Batman and Robin when they surf the missile doors off the down? I don't fucking know. When they're fighting Mr. Freeze or some shit.
They drop through the sky. They're falling, right? But they've got like their boards under them. What am I thinking?
Well, they're in the missile, I think. And then they're like, okay, let's get out of here. And they kick the doors, but their boots attached to the doors for some reason.
Shoe magnets.
And they're surfing the skies. And that's what I thought of when I saw this. I'm like, motherfucking Dale Spooner. No.
You break from following, asshole. I might just let you take over the rest of this. I'm having the best time right now. I really am. Just having the best time.
I am glad. I am so glad.
So Dell's in his car. He gets attacked by more robots because he's asleep in his car. Because cars are self-driving in this world.
Except for when he gets behind the wheel because he likes to be in control.
I like how everyone's like, oh my God, you were controlling the vehicle manually, but you look at the speedometer, he's going like 125. I'm like, yes, that is fast. But that is not so fast that it is inconceivable that a human being can handle the steering wheel of a car. People drive 125 all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel like the farther we get into the future, the faster we're going to be able to go. So 126 isn't that big of a deal.
So, yeah, but everyone's like, oh my God, you drive manually? And I'm like, he's not going 350 miles an hour, guys. It's not that big a deal. I think I could drive a car at 125, and I'm not good at driving. Although I do use my blinkers and I turn my lights on when it rains. So I do still think I'm better than most.
Yeah, that's good driving. I turn my lights on when it's sunny out. Who gives a shit? That way people see me. I use my blinker, except when I'm turning left, I use my blinker to look like I'm going right.
Well, see, I get confused about which way I'm turning. So anytime I turn, I just hit my hazards.
There you go.
So they both blink and I'm covered regardless which way I turn.
Which way do I go? I don't know. Hit the
hazards.
There we go. Wish somebody would hit the hazards when I watch this movie.
So he's asleep in the car, and then he wakes up, and he realizes he has been sandwiched by 2 horizontally driving semis full of NS5s, and they all begin to attack him.
What is your thoughts on the design of the NS5s?
I have a lot of thoughts, but I'm saving them till we get through kind of a speedy recap of this movie, because there's a lot I want to talk about, but I feel like we have to get through most of the movie first. Okay. What are your thoughts on the look of the robot?
I like everything about it from the neck down. I don't like the face. It's too...
I feel like your dates have said this about you.
Oh, every single one of them.
Neck down? Big fan.
I feel like...
What did Jennifer Connelly say?
I have no idea. I haven't received an email yet.
Jen.
I know. Russell Stover's right over here. But I feel like somebody at Apple was like, "Oh, you guys are making a robot movie? Hey, can we design your robot?" It looks like it's designed by fucking Apple.
What is the name of this movie?
iRobot. Absolutely. Yeah. And I want to call bullshit because if Apple designed a robot, that motherfucker wouldn't be compatible with anything in your house unless it's designed by Apple. Be like, hey, robot, go make me some dinner over there on the stove.
Cannot comply.
Can't.
Oven is not an iOven.
Exactly.
An iSmart Oven Max Pro.
You'd have to update every single thing in your goddamn house. So no.
So robots attack. He drives the car recklessly. He fights off the robots. There's a lot of guns. There's a lot of ripping the car apart. And they're like, you are having a car accident.
I like that.
I actually really like that. They grab the steering wheel. They're trying to kill him. And they're like, you are experiencing a car accident. He's like, the hell I am. And just starts shooting people. Not people. He starts shooting robots. Because robots aren't people.
Yes.
Except when they become people. Something people. Something robots?
What?
I don't know. The movie tries. Well, we're not there yet. I'll save it. Shocker. Dell survives, and he's like, "I was attacked by motherfucking robots again." Here's the thing. He's like, guys. He's talking to his fucking boss. He's like, guys, I was attacked by fucking robots, and they're like, Dell, you so crazy. Robots don't attack people. And he's like, look at the fucking blood I'm covered in because I'm actively bleeding. You dick.
Yeah. What is their? How do they? What? How do they just dismiss that?
Because he's obviously a crazy person.
Is he just
Dell
throwing himself into shit?
Yeah.
Ugh.
They're like, you drove your car manually and then you crashed and everything you're saying is clearly bullshit, even though you've been doing nothing but trying to convince us this for 2 days. Pie-eating bastard.
So I feel like the robots use their strength, their super strength, their robot strength.
Yes.
I don't feel like it's consistent.
I would agree with that.
Because at one point they can grab a human and pick him up and throw him. But when they're fighting him in the car, they have a hard time taking the steering wheel from him.
Right?
Like,
well, in theory, they don't even need to grab the steering wheel. They could just pick him out of the car. Just grab him, lift him out of the car, and then just throw him in front of the car.
Yeah.
And then just go over him.
Yeah, there's just a lot of inconsistencies, and that kind of bothered me.
And for something with that much power, and I find this true for a lot of movies that are trying to convey these big, strong robots, like some of the more recent Terminators, like the later Terminators, I feel like are pretty bad for it. Where it's like
just bad.
They're running and they're jumping and they're swinging off shit and whatever, but like for the amount of weight that they should have and the amount of power they're moving with, like the environment does not react right. You know what I'm saying? Or they're not reacting right with their environment, vice versa, whatever.
Yeah.
There's some kind of disconnect there.
Well, this movie kind of does the same thing because you got the robots.
That's what I'm saying. This movie does it too. Like,
with the jumping around,
yeah,
and grabbing a hold of things, and they have what point was it? They grab Spooner by the robot, hooks their legs around him,
yeah,
and does like a
my God,
Mary Lou Retton fucking spin around.
I thought they were trying to kill velociraptors. Hot Lost World reference for everybody.
They cut you from the team.
What?
But that just doesn't make sense to me. And I'm going to nitpick on the director a little bit when he does that camera thing.
I hate that.
Oh my God, he does that so many times.
Oh yeah, he loves just, hey, check out this thing we can do with the camera. Here's a still image, and now we're just going to vertically spiral around it for no reason other than I think it's cool.
Yeah. And he found that trick, and he's like, I'm going to use this multiple times.
Multiple times.
I wonder how much puke was in the theater.
In increasingly more nauseating ways.
I hated it. Yeah.
I think the one where the robots are like giving Spooner the old Hurricane Rana is the worst. Because it spins and it spins. It spins like 5 times.
Yeah.
And then he throws him. I'm like, God, that sucked. That was not good.
That was very disorienting. and it made me hate the movie even more.
I think you're jumping the gun a little bit.
Well, there's no curtain. We've already established that you could be dick out, and there's no curtain.
Water everywhere. Pies.
Opinions flying.
Well, the opinions are just going to fly freely. Why did we reformat the whole show? I worked so hard on this fucking format.
Well, that was before I realized there was no curtain.
Well, normally there's curtain.
Yeah. Every other movie will have a curtain.
Except for the ones that don't have curtains.
Except for this one that doesn't have a curtain.
All right. He survives. Then we get some tragic backstory. No one cares. Like, it doesn't matter.
I will defend Will Smith's acting a little bit. I think he did a good job in this moment where he's explaining the backstory and how that little girl drowned and the robot chose him instead of the little girl. It looked like he was legitimately upset. His eyes were watery. His face was a little red. I think he did a really good job there.
Well, actually, so I like Will Smith as an actor.
I do too.
And I thought he did a good job throughout this movie. Like, he's got a lot of one-liners. He's slightly quippy, but it's like a smart-ass quippy, not like a Schwarzenegger quippy, right? But he plays it pretty casually, not over the top. There's just like a hint of Fresh Prince in there, right? And it worked for me. But I think Will Smith is genuinely a good actor.
Yeah, there was moments I thought he was bored.
Well, I would be too if I was in iRobot.
True.
He's like, I got naked for this. I
And
knew there was going to be a nude scene. I had to ask for another $1 million.
That's a hot, grumpy old man reference.
Checks notes this movie was made for an estimated $121 million.
I don't know. Some of the one-liners that he had just didn't really hit with me.
It's not his fault.
No, but it was, well, kind of, because it was also the delivery.
I feel like for the most part, he does a good job.
But no, you're right too. The writing on him was just like the one he says he shows up at the doctor's house and she's like, "Do you ever have a normal day?" And he's like, "I did once. It was a Tuesday.
It was a Thursday."
Yeah,
that was funny.
I'm like, okay.
Or he wakes up from his nap in the car. He sees that he's sandwiched by the robot trucks and the doors open and the robots turn on, the red light and their chest turns on. And he's like, I cannot be this unlucky, or my luck cannot be this bad. Whatever he says.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was funny.
That one was okay. I like that.
Did you ever have a normal day? I did once. It was a Thursday. It was, yeah. No, Will Smith does a good job.
It's okay.
So Vicky enacts her big plan. All the NS5s become violent because Vicky has been upgraded enough times and she's been around long enough because she was the dead doctor's original creation. She was the very first being to ever be programmed with the 3 laws. So she has had a lot of time to ruminate on the 3 laws. Did you like my use of ruminate?
Dang.
Goddamn right.
Well, we got some grumpy old men reference. We got Fast and no. Oh!
What?
Ford versus Ferrari, not Fast and the Furious.
When did we reference Ford versus Ferrari?
Just there. Ruminate.
Oh, that's just a word I was using.
It's from Ford versus Ferrari.
No, I'm pretty sure ruminate is just a word.
Well, yeah, but it's Henry Ford was like, my grandfather was walking home. He was ruminating.
Yeah, but everyone referred to him as the deuce.
That's true.
So I'm like, God damn, what are you talking about? I'm not referencing anything. I'm just speaking. Forgive me for having read a book once or twice in my life, you animal.
I watched a movie and I got the same
why
word.
Why don't you read some Isaac? That's a mom.
Are you suggesting Isaac Asimov?
I am and Isaac Asimov is suggesting me, damn it. I don't know what that means, but it works.
I don't either.
So the robots attack because Vicky has decided that the 3 laws are perfect, but they're impossible as long as humans are in charge of humans. So the only way the 3 laws can truly be upheld is for robot domination, and they will then overlord the humans and protect them from themselves. And everyone's happy. And I'm sitting here going, they're not wrong. I'm not advocating robot overlords, but I'm also not saying they're wrong.
So are you saying her logic is undeniable?
I'm saying it's sound.
My logic is undeniable.
I don't know what we're referencing now.
This movie.
Oh yeah, I guess she does say it's undeniable.
Mm-hmm. She says it multiple times as
She says a lot of things, but they programmed her with a woman's voice, and I just tuned out when she was talking. I'm like, bitch,
wow.
Please send all hate mail to Jake, care of Ticket Price. So the robots are attacking, and they're like, curfew, and they're all the people, and by all the people, I mean Shia LaBeouf. We're like, fuck you, robot. And then there's a huge people versus robot fight, which did remind me slightly of Black Adam.
I have that in my notes.
Do you?
I do. I was like, this movie from 20 years ago has a more impressive people versus whatever scene than Black Adam.
And it makes more sense.
And I gave a shit more about Shia LaBeouf
I didn't.
than I did that shitty little kid from Black Adam.
Oh, okay. When you phrase it like that, I did. Yeah, that's true. But so then the robots are trying to neutralize the cops, so they attack the precinct, and the cops start shooting, and the lieutenant's like, my God, fucking robots. And he just rips a shotgun hidden from under his desk. Why the shit does he have a full combat shotgun stashed under his desk? What is he expecting to happen at any moment on any day?
Well, if he looks at the crime rate in the city and how well he polices, then probably a lot.
Well, is that his fault or is that his detective's fault?
That would be probably his fault, because anytime they bring anything to him, he's like, don't worry about that. It's
not in my precinct.
Yeah, blah, blah, robot, blah, blah, blah.
Something robot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't tell me you're going to gloss over this moment.
Which moment? I'm about to gloss over a lot of moments.
This amazing motorcycle jump shooting scene.
Well, you're in luck, because I'm going to tell you that I was not going to gloss over it. I forgot it happened, and I wasn't going to mention it at all. So there's not even a gloss. It was just going to be cut.
Just ignored.
Just cut.
Just like fucking Spooner. You're ignoring him as well.
Just like a coherent plot. Just some kind of fucking LaBeouf.
So the robot
hold it or wear it.
uprising.
Why are you? Don't do that with your hands. Are you holding testicles?
Big testicles.
You're just like the robot uprising. Robot Uprising is the name of a very niche film, apparently.
It was pretty good.
The story impeccable.
But so the robot uprising is occurring, and Spooner is buzzing around on his motorcycle.
Does this run on gas? Gas explodes!
Oh my God!
Shut up,
Doctor. But
Doctor, whatever the hell your name is.
So Spooner just floors this bike, hits a jump from somewhere. I don't know what he hits.
Plot.
Yeah.
He runs over the plot of this movie to get air.
Sends him flying into the air. And in true Matrix form,
so Matrix. This movie has a ton of Matrix moments.
So he does like a full Neo and pulls out two guns and is just pop, 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 pop. I'm sorry. And just pulls out two guns and starts destroying these robots.
He's shooting two guns while flying through the air, while riding a motorcycle, while being shot in slow motion.
Terrible ripoff.
It's not good, is it?
Homage. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Totally not stolen.
No.
Or ripped off.
Borrowed.
Homage.
Yes.
They paid homage.
Yeah. It didn't work. It looked terrible. And it didn't even fit. Like in the whole movie, it didn't fit.
No. But that could be said for most of the action sequences. It just like where the hell is any of this coming from?
Yeah, I mean, you did have. I guess it did kind of fit because you had the door surfing moment.
He escaped by surfing a door down some stairs out of a destroyed house into a fish pond.
Yeah, didn't work for me.
He saved that cat, though.
Still didn't work for me.
He saved Shia LaBeouf.
Definitely didn't work for me.
Okay, we were talking about moments of levity that work. He saves Shia LaBeouf. Then a robot runs over and grabs him by the throat. Shia LaBeouf's like, look out, Spooner's like, thanks, you little fucking dweeb. And then the doctor shows up with the machine gun and shoots, blows the robot away. And he's like, you can see the relief on Spooner's face. He got saved. And Shia LaBeouf is behind him losing his shit. And he's like, what the damn hell? Spooner, this lady just shot her gun with her eyes closed. And he's like, you did what? And she's like, no. And he's like, damn hell yes you did.
It worked, didn't it?
And he's like, aim. Then when he was like, did you just shoot at me with your eyes closed? That whole little sequence, that worked. I also spit everywhere.
I got some on my glasses.
Hold it or wear it.
I didn't know that was actually going to come to life.
Hold it or wear it. I apologized. What more do you want? I have considerable spray, ladies. I'm sorry, what was that?
I don't remember now.
Yeah.
Oh, I do. I remember now.
Spray.
So they're sneaking into the building.
Yeah, the sneaky snake.
And the doctor is like, okay, I got it here, this way. And she goes to the steps, and at the bottom of the steps, there's a hatch.
Mm-hmm.
The service area.
Right. No cameras.
There's no surveillance.
Correct. But there is an army of robots looking down the stairs at them.
Why the hell would you not want to have video surveillance in the service area? Wouldn't you want to watch what people are doing when they're trying to service your building?
I always like to watch the people servicing me.
Hell yes. And then I want you to look me in the eye.
Look directly into the camera while you do it. What is wrong with this episode? Why is my robot so sexual?
I don't know. But
I think robots are a kink of mine. I think I'm learning something about myself.
I think I'm learning something about you too. But that just made no sense to me. And I know it was for the plot to get them in the building and get them up the stairs and where they needed to be. But
there's a lot of that, though. It's like, well, why was that for the plot?
Yeah.
Once or twice, sure. But if your script is held together by, well, why'd this happen? Oh, the plot. It's a bad script.
Absolutely.
So big, whatever giant robot fight. They kill Mother Brain, Vicky, whatever, and all the evil protocols are destroyed, and all the robots go back to being docile and friendly.
Nice Metroid reference, by the way.
Thank you. And then Sonny ends up becoming Robot Moses?
Sure.
And leads them to their own society in the dump. And
So we were talking about Black Adam.
Yes. Do you know why they call me Sonny? And he just kicks a door over.
When Black Adam kills off Satan PlayStation 3 villain, all of the Death Squad skeletons or whatever, they die out. That's exactly what happens here.
Yeah, but this movie did it first.
Yeah, it's true. And it did it better because there was a reason that they were all linked to
Vicky,
the mother.
And now they were no longer being fed her programming.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they still had their original programming. Vicky was just, when the red light was on, she was overriding that.
Correct.
And controlling them. So that didn't bother me as much. I kind of enjoyed that part of it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was kind of confused with the end where Sonny goes off in his robot Jesus.
I think Moses,
whatever. Yeah, it just, I don't know. That didn't really, I don't know. I didn't like the ending.
All right. Do you have anything in your notes you want to touch on before we get to final thoughts? Because I actually, as odd as it seems, I really want to spend the bulk of my time, not the bulk, we've already done the bulk of our time, but I want to spend a fair amount of time on final thoughts because I want to bring something up, and it to say it has merit gives us too much credit, but it's where I want to talk.
Okay.
It's what I want to talk about. God damn it.
No, the only thing I really want to say on this movie is I did appreciate the fact how Spooner lost his arm and how he developed his hatred for the robots. It wasn't like the normal big budget cop. It wasn't some robbery he was trying to foil or some revenge.
RoboCop.
Somebody that he had, put in prison had come out of prison and took his arm and killed this girl.
RoboCop.
It was just an accident.
Yeah.
It was a car and the guy didn't do anything wrong. He just fell asleep and smashed into the cars and pushed them into the water. I did appreciate that fact. It wasn't something that's been overdone.
No, it wasn't. It was an everyday accident.
It was just an everyday accident. Could have happened to anybody. I did appreciate that. So.
Yeah.
But other than that, that's all I got.
All right. So we'll get into our final thoughts, ratings, and reviews, and then I guess as part of my final thoughts, I want to try to touch on a few things.
Okay.
So ratings time. IMDb 7.1.
Wow, that seems high.
Rotten Tomatoes 57.
There it is. There it is.
Big ol' 5.7. Reviews. Actual Ebert.
Oh, okay.
2 stars.
Damn, Ebes.
The plot is simple-minded and disappointing, and the chase and action scenes are pretty much routine.
Way to go, Ebes. That hurt to say.
The Guardian. A can of WD-40 is urgently required for this creaking, clanking thriller. Also, they had down there at the end, overlooks subversive potential. Because especially the Guardian, they both talk about it. Guardian talked about it a little more about how suggested by, loosely based on, whatever, the writings of Isaac Asimov. But like they didn't really go like full ham with it. And so they missed out on a lot of the social critiques and the cultural subversion, the societal subversion that like Asimov does in his stories. So it's like you guys are missing the actual point of these robot stories. It's like the X-Men are, especially in their original time, was a critique at racism, right? And it was like, you guys are stupid and racist, and but that's what it was. And Asimov does something very similar, in his original writings from the goddamn 50s. And this movie realizes what Asimov was doing, didn't want to do it, but then felt like they had to pay some kind of lip service to those thoughts. And so we get these weird moments where like white people are calling Will Smith's character a racist in regards to the robots. And it's like, ha ha ha, white people are calling a black person a racist. It's different. And then, it's like, well, are robots people? And they just kind of touch so briefly and on just such a most surface of surface levels, right? These ideas that could be interesting if they were actually like looked at in any way that mattered.
I agree.
They didn't, and they just went for this basic action flick. They went for cheap pop than anything of substance. And I like cheap pop as much as the next person. I feel like they really missed the mark on some things.
They have a Frankenstein reference. in the diner.
Barely.
And
Because he calls it the Wolfman.
And they turn it into a joke.
Yes.
So they knew what they were going for, but for one, they thought we were too stupid to catch it. Two, they just play it off as a joke, and it's, I don't know, it kind of is disappointing.
Instead of doing anything interesting with it, it's right? Because even Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, which is fantastic if you haven't read it, it's a classic for a reason. It's so good. But there's fiction, especially science fiction. It's at its best when it entertains us, whether it's fun and lighthearted or dark and gothic or remorseful or actiony or whatever. But sci-fi is at its best when it entertains us and it makes us think. That's what sci-fi is about. Like Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, that's sci-fi. He uses science and creates the monster, and,
right.
and the book goes on from there. But you start getting into these deeper elements of creation. What is life? When does it, and we start getting these different elements. And again, this movie touches on them so briefly that it would be better if they didn't at all.
I agree with that.
Because otherwise it's, hey, here's this thing that's actually really interesting and thought-provoking and would make the movie better, but we're not going to do anything with it. We're just going to mention it so you know that we know it exists. It's like, motherfucker, plead ignorance, and it would help you in this case. But what I want to talk about before we get into final thoughts, we've talked about it with a few different movies. The Last Voyage of the Demeter being probably chief among. The only thing, not the, but like one of the big things I got while watching iRobot is, goddamn, I would put this movie high up on the list of let us take a crack at it. Let us see what we could do with it. I think from a script perspective, there would probably be a lot of from ground up work.
Oh, I agree.
But that aside, let's just look at the rest of the movie. That aside, because first thing I would do is try to read every single piece of Isaac Asimov's work. And then, so I actually understand what the hell I'm writing about.
Good luck. Didn't he write like 400 books?
I got nothing better to do. Yeah, but like a lot of this stuff in the Three Laws, a lot of them are short stories too.
Yeah, because isn't that what iRobot is? Just a collection of short stories.
Collection of short stories, yeah. So at the very least, read fucking iRobot, but I would want to read more than that to really get a full scope, right? But so admitting that, but we're just going to set it aside for now. Script is what it is. We're working with the same script. Honestly, I feel like we don't have to make any actor changes. Everyone does a good job. No qualms. It's fine. This movie was part of that early 2000s era. Matrix had, come out in 99? Everyone was still riding that high of look at what we can do with computers. Let's get crazy. Let's get over the top. And then just because it was done with a computer, everyone was like, oh my God, we've never seen this before. And so it became this idea of rush. Let's do whatever we can with CGI, with computers, and get it out there, regardless of how it looks, because everyone was like, it looks fantastic. We made it with a computer. And you're like, well, actually, this doesn't look so fantastic. They're like, shut your face, looks fantastic, made it with a computer. One of the main things I would change is I would personally really like to see this movie dialed back on CGI and actually do the majority of it practical. And hear me out. So we have our Apple iPhone robots. right? Get rid of them entirely.
Okay.
And just have actor. And we have our actor. I can't think of the guy's name.
Alan Tudyk.
Alan Tudyk. Still Alan Tudyk. But just have Alan fucking Tudyk there. And he still gives the same performance. Because it's a movie. We are told that is the new robot. That is the new generation of robot. We learn that the Bridget Monahan's character, her whole spiel, her whole deal in the company is figuring out ways to make the robots look more human so they're more pleasing to look at and that they'll be more widely accepted. We already know that's her job. She told Will Smith about it.
Yeah.
Look at this human-looking robot. It's already in the fucking script. So now we have robot. And then when we see all the robots, right? If you wanted to have a bunch of, Alan Tudyks, that's fine. I'd go a step farther, though. Like when the robots are attacking Will Smith in the car sequence. What if doors open? Instead of all the same looking robot or just an army of Alan Tudyks, right? In my version, fuck it. Just have a bunch of stunt people. Men, women, different nationalities, different skin colors, everything. Because it doesn't matter. You're making a new generation of robot for mass consumption. There would be different models for people to purchase based on their preferences. So you would have NS5 robots that look like every type of conceivable person you can imagine. There's your out. And as long as you still have Alan Tudyk sprinkled in, right, it works. And they would all be wearing the samey, some kind of outfit, some kind of just like standard issue.
Space pajamas?
No. Some kind of robot tunic. I don't know.
Alan Tudyk is wearing a robot tunic?
Tunic. Yes.
Alan Tudyk is wearing a robot tunic.
Correct.
Oh.
Correct.
Okay.
Right? And so now we can do this shit practically. It's gonna look better, and we're gonna lose these issues where the robots seem like they're not interacting with their environment right. But you can still have their incredible strength. You can still have their incredible speed. It's a fucking movie. We do this all the time. People have been doing this for 50 years, right? Not that big a deal. And it's going to look better. You can even still have Sonny stand out. Because I'm sure you noticed, in the movie, Robot Sonny has blue eyes.
Yes.
All the other NS5s have that like gold, yellowy kind of gold color. Have the same fucking thing. NS5s have those same yellowy golden eyes, except Sonny, who has blue. That's all you gotta do. You can do that fucking contacts. But again, if you have an army of them, you want to do it with CGI, you could. And it wouldn't be distracting. Even if it didn't look 100% perfect, it wouldn't be that distracting because you'd see it and you'd be like, oh yeah, it's their eyes. What? And you're watching the action. All this weird camera work with the camera spinning and rotating and these Matrix ripoffs, scrap all of that. And honestly, personally, I would scrap most of the action scenes. And the ones that don't get scrapped, I would change pretty dramatically. Because it doesn't fit in the context of the story they're trying to tell.
I agree.
A random detective is fucking Rambo, right? Just in the air with his machine gun, just, killing people, or killing robots, right? It doesn't work. And I think a lot of improvement could actually be made to the viewing experience with a more practical hand.
I agree. Yeah. I mean, it definitely wouldn't take you out of the moment as much as it did with the robots, the way they were CGI'd in this one.
Yeah.
Because there were moments where I was like, holy shit, I'm definitely looking at CGI shit.
Yeah. Well, think about the one that you said where Will Smith is walking around the warehouse full of NS5s. What if you just had actual Will Smith walking around a large room with a bunch of extras wearing the same robot tunic and the same, yellow eyes? But again, you can have all kinds of different people, men, women, white, black, it doesn't matter. You can have everybody. because it's different models of the same fucking robot. And we've already been told, this has been explained to us. Your audience would buy it. Do that. It would look better. And especially in 04, it probably cost comparable, if not cheaper,
Yeah.
than going through all that work.
Yeah, because there's even ways they could take a group of people and just composite it into more.
Yeah. Yeah.
They could do that pretty cheap.
So I'm not gonna lie, I'd make a lot of changes, but iRobot in my mind now is kind of up there with like Last Voyage of Demeter, where I kind of want to, like, if the opportunity ever arose, I'd try my hand at it, at remaking.
Yeah,
I would. I think there's something there that I like. It just wasn't handled right.
I read a piece about the company or the corporate interference with the director, and he was quoted as saying making this movie was like running a marathon with somebody throwing chairs in front of you. So I don't I don't blame the director for the shortcomings of the movie. It goes back to just corporate interference. They think they know best.
Mm-hmm.
They're the ones that invest the money, so they think they got to have their hand in it, and it definitely shows.
But I wasn't casting blame on anybody. I was just saying I'm putting iRobot in that file folder of I would try my hand at that one. All right, final thoughts. iRobot.
This movie is it's oddly relevant right now with AI kind of taking over some jobs.
Mm-hmm.
We have a mutual person we know that lost their job to AI.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
And I'm all the time seeing, look at this artwork that AI did, or look what AI can write, or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, piss off.
Nom, 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 nom.
So I think it's kind of funny that in this movie, AI is taking over all of the mundane jobs, like the mail delivery and the grocery, or the garbage man jobs, garbage person jobs. And Will Smith is like, well, can a robot create a beautiful piece of music? Can it create a beautiful piece of artwork? Where now it's actually creating artwork and writing stuff and taking jobs away from people that way. So it's kind of opposite. But back to the movie, I feel like Will Smith was a little bored at times making this.
Phoning it in, maybe.
Kind of. I feel like he plays the standard cop that knows more than everybody else and is almost invincible, kind of the cops from the 80s and early 90s movies. So that didn't really click with me. Some of the humor didn't really work for me. There was a few things I laughed at. For whatever reason, Shia LaBeouf's character was in this movie. There was really no reason for him to be there other than to have a face in the mob.
Yeah, but honestly, having a face in the mob sold our connection to the mob.
Yeah, kind of, but
it could be done better.
I don't know. He just didn't click with me at all.
We could do it better.
Alan Tudyk, phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
Everything I've ever seen him in or heard him in, he's always a standout.
Underrated?
Very underrated.
Yeah.
James Cromwell was wasted.
Yeah.
Is it Bridget Monahan?
Yeah.
Yeah, her character was kind of annoying, where she's trying to spit out these smart phrases and he's like, what? And then she dumbs it down for him and he's like, wasn't it easier just to say that?
No.
She's like, no.
Not really.
Like, stop. No, this movie is just a crappy murder mystery.
Is it? I mean, is it really that even?
I mean, it's trying to be, but it doesn't work. And it's just, it tries to be a murder mystery, but it's taken over by the action genre. And no, I cannot recommend the movie. It's not worth the ticket price. There are better Will Smith movies out there. And I like Will Smith. I think he's really good. I've enjoyed multiple movies of his, but not this one. Skip it.
Not worth it.
Not worth the ticket price.
So watching this movie, honestly, my biggest takeaway is, son of a bitch, I'd like, if you and I could sit down and get our hands on this movie, this, Last Voyage of the Demeter, if we could re-edit 07 Halloween, it's just in that list of like, this makes me really want to like sink our teeth into that. 'Cause I think we could make something more special than what currently exists. That aside, watching this movie, I was not honestly looking forward to it, but I rented it because it's the only way I could watch a goddamn thing. I watched it. I did, you know what? Honestly, truthfully, I enjoyed it more than I thought I was going to. I had a pleasant, enjoyable experience.
Okay.
That being said, I cannot in good conscience tell people that this movie is worth the ticket price, that they should go out of their way to watch it or rewatch it or whatever. There's nothing special to it. There are hints of something special that are then wasted almost as a passing reference of like, see, now we mentioned this thing.
It's the Wolfman.
And it's like, yeah, just make that your plot, you dipshit, right? God damn it. No, I like Will Smith. He does a good job. I think everyone in this movie did a good job. But it either misses or falls short of too many marks.
Agree.
So I'm sorry, iRobot, you are not worth the ticket price, and we'll just leave your ass in 04 or 2035 or something.
Or surfing piece of shit.
So you're saying in our version, no one surfs on a door?
No, that's how they get around town, is they surf on doors.
They just surf on doors.
Yeah.
So wait a minute. No one uses curtains when in the shower. No homes have doors. Doors have become the primary mode of transportation.
Absolutely.
Everyone lives on some kind of hill. And they just surf down the hill on their...
Yeah. Yeah. Or they can have motorized doors.
Oh, well, obviously,
Yeah.
just have a motorized door.
Yeah, it's electric. I mean, it's got to be electric because gas blows up.
Gas blows up, you know. Shut up. Shut up. I get it. This movie's in the future and no one uses a combustion engine anymore. No. Shut up.
Spooner loves the classics.
He's just a man out of time. Speaking of out of time, boom, see what I did there?
That was a nice little flip.
King of the Segway. Everyone drives Segways.
And Out of Time is a Denzel Washington movie, and Denzel Washington played in Training Day, and Will Smith is dressed like the character from Training Day. Oh my God, my brain exploded.
It's full circle. We're back at the start, but I'm not talking about this movie again.
Oh, thank God.
So, where's our hat? Here, it's over. It's over by me. I don't even have to ask.
Yeah,
it's over
there.
Here, pick a movie.
Give me the hat.
He's searching. I can't even make my Green Mile reference. I'm too tickled by it.
Good.
Now.
I already have the movie. I got it.
Picking a movie.
I got it.
Picking a movie. Picking a movie. Picking a movie.
Okay.
Oh,
do you want some? Would you like some hints?
Your hints are the worst.
I know.
All right. Hit me. Your terrible ass hints.
It hit you like a hammer. Okay, so we're breaking into the MCU.
Ooh, wait a minute. Maybe you should redraw. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know if I'm ready for that.
Nope.
Okay.
I gave you 2 hints.
Breaking into the MCU?
Yeah. And hit you with a hammer.
It's Thor! Oh, man.
We are doing Thor. I don't know what year that came out.
We'll find out next week when I look it up.
I don't remember.
I'm not saying Thor is the worst solo franchise of the Avengers because that's Iron Man. Man, I'm not looking forward to this. Neither the movie nor getting into the MCU.
I'm excited.
Well, everyone, please reserve your torches and your pitchforks for Tevis. Even though I think I'm going to be the one everyone hates.
Probably.
Oh, yeah. Kat Dennings tased him. She gave him the old taser. That's so funny.
Oh, I forgot she was in it.
Yeah. Oh, they hit him with a van. Oh, look, he's at a pet shop looking for a horse.
It's comedy gold.
Yep. All right, everyone. We're Ticket Price. That's Tevis.
Yeah, it is.
I'm Jake.
We're breaking into the MCU.
Shit. That was iRobot. Tune in next week as we dip our toe into the MCU waters with Thor. You're Thor? Well, it hurt.
Ooh, this man.
How dare you? You can't boo Robin Williams. How dare you? Thank you for tuning in. As always, be good out there. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and tune in next week. Good night. Fucking Thor.